Here we are again.
We're just testing.
Hello. We're going to show you number 3. Welcome back to another video of Do You Know What to Do? I'm Paul Carter.
And I'm Grant Carter.
And it's January 17th, 2017. We're going to show you in this video how to replace those broken wood in your seats, in your kitchen seats, or your slip seats, very easily.
Right, and it's a common problem as well.
It is. There's 2 different styles we're going to show you. In case one of these is your application, you won't have both. And also how to cover the slip seat as well.
Right.
First thing you need to do is tear down the fabric. We know you know how to do that. Then measure what thickness of your wood is, the plywood, and we did that. It's a 1/2 inch. So we went to the hardware store and we have 2 of them.
Right, so that's why we have a 2x2 or a 2x4, 2 foot by 4 foot plywood.
1/2 inch thick.
Right.
So we got to get that first, and the next thing is going to be to get your tools ready. Okay.
Right.
So let's just say you do not have the cutout. Yours is just like ours, simple flat piece of wood. What kind of tools we're going to need?
Well, we're going to need a saw to cut out the board, obviously. You have 2 different choices with this. You can have a traditional hand saw. It takes more effort, more time, but it's cheap and it works, right? Also, you can have a reciprocating saw, and you're going to need a reciprocating blade. This is a wood blade. You can also get a bimetal, which can cut soft metals and also wood.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Perfect.
All right, so we got the saws taken care of. You're also going to need.
Out of the way here.
Thank you. We're also going to need some safety goggles. Safety first. A pneumatic stapler. This is a 13, and the staples with it. This is a 13 or 3/8. Excuse me, 3/8 staples. So it's
number 7.
Right, number 7, 3/8 staples, and also the gun. We do have a link to the staple gun, electric, pneumatic, and also just a hand stapler if you want.
It's quite good. I mean, the electric does a very good job. If you're going to do many applications, it might be worth you investing into it. It costs a little bit more than the hand one, but it's got a perfect. You would use, as Grant was saying, you would use, I think they call them number 7, fine wire.
They're also 22 and 20 gauge wire. So same thing, but I think number 7 is done like by Empire or some company. But it's exact same thing. So like he said, you need these kind of staples. Also, you're going to need some scissors. This is a, what is this again?
That there is just a putty knife. That's only in case your wood, when we take this off, this was not our problem. It might be glued. Right. We don't want you ruining the foam, and you don't want to either, so you're just going to peel it back and scrape a little bit as you go along.
All right.
You want to reuse it if you can.
Finally, you're going to need the regular staple puller and nips. That's for taking it out. I think I already went over scissors and a pencil.
Yep.
That's it.
Exactly. And that little hammer, I don't know if you mentioned that, may not be necessary.
Correct.
Yeah, you could use a house hammer.
Because you might as well just be using the nips to hit the back.
That's just to remove the old fabric so you can get going.
Right.
Okay, let's just say, for example, when you did tear into yours, or it broke, like what's this thing's problem, you take it off and you see webbing here, or there might be a sheet of like elastic fiber going across there. That's pretty common, and it's comfortable. You can try to find that. It's like a rubberized elastic webbing. Okay, that might be the name they use for it. But we just stick to jute webbing.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to need to buy these things because you cannot reuse that webbing.
So obviously first you need the jute webbing. This is the red type, and it's used for this specific application. Seats, not backs. Backs are black.
Right, the black strap is for less pressure. It's for the backs of furniture.
You're going to need a stretcher for that. This is a gooseneck stretcher because it kind of looks like a goose, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And also you're going to need, this is
pretty cool.
This is a homemade stretcher that we made in another video, which we're going to link to you. It was the webbing repair video. This is quite simple, inexpensive.
You don't have to buy this.
Yeah, replace this. So
save a little bit of money. This thing's like $20-something. I don't know, something like that. But you don't need this.
No. And finally, you're gonna need a drill and a paddle bit. This is a 1 3/8 paddle bit. Whoa, it's hard to say, but you're gonna need that for the slip seats.
Right.
He's gonna show you how.
Very simple. You would just simply take. It's so simple. You just take this, drill straight into the corners here. And then maybe do like 2 or 3, depending on what Grant was telling you, what application of the saw you're using. If you're using the old-fashioned hand saw, you're going to need more room to get in there to start sawing down.
Right.
Okay. If you have a reciprocating saw,
with this tiny blade, it's going to be pretty simple.
Yeah, just one hole right there. And if you do, we don't recommend you going out and wasting money. If you're not a pretty, heavy-duty DIYer, then don't go out and waste all your money. But if you want, this is probably the best saw to get.
Right.
It's so universal because you could use this, as Grant was saying, to cut out the wood. You'd use, I think they call this a shoe. I can't remember. And you just, once you get your holes in there, then you just follow right along and cut this thing completely out. So it's a nice saw. This thing will last forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's all you would do is make the holes in the corner with the paddle bit, and then cut it out. We're going to use. We don't need to cut out the center, but we're going to use a circular saw. So that's what we're going to use for cutting out the wood out the outside. So the next step is I want to get this foam off of here, which is just about to fall off, and then we're going to lay it on the wood behind us. Mark it out. I'm going to go out in the dark because it's late and cut this wood, and we're going to be right back.
All right.
Can you hear it?
All right, so we just laid out, we got all the tools out of the way because it's all cluttered. We laid out the board, and obviously we're tracing it now. We got a few tips that we want to go over with you first, and
the first two is make sure your grain is going this direction, okay? Instead of, let me show you with this board here. Instead of the grain going this direction, meaning the grain of the plywood, have it go this direction. It just makes it a little bit sturdier. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine, okay?
If I may real quick, it looks like it's cupped. So that might be one reason why it is.
I think it is.
Cupped is because the grain's going front to back.
Right, so have it go left to right.
Right.
Okay, and the other one is bring your wood to the front if, which I don't see why you wouldn't be, if yours is straight.
Right.
Okay, so why have an extra cut? I just brought it right to the factory edge and made the marks like that.
And one last tip, if you're really tight on wood, how much wood you have, we got plenty on this side. What you could do is you could flip it around like this and share one side. So as you can see, they both line up quite well, the angle, and you're still at the edge of this board right here, and that way you can just save that inch or two of wood that you would lose if you did the other way. But we had plenty of wood, so
Good tip, man.
Doesn't matter, man. Let's go ahead.
Doesn't matter, man.
No, man.
We're good to go. So what we're going to do is take this outside. I've already made that mark. And
into the bitter cold.
Yeah. And then we're going to cut this right out, and we're going to be right back. This is so easy, so simple.
So simple.
You're going to be
flying through it.
You're gonna hey, you know what? Keep on watching.
Oh, yeah.